Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, madam.
Thank you very much for making time to attend this class today. My name is Elector Anyango, and I'm going to take you through stock control. I hope all of you are present, and I hope all of you are going to stay until the end of the lesson. I'll download the attendance at the end of the lesson, so please make sure you stay in the lesson until the end of it. So before we start, I'm going to share my screen so that we can all see what I'm talking about. Just a minute. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, just a minute.
Yes.
Thank you. So the first thing that we are going to talk about today is the objectives. So by the end of this session, I expect each and every one of you to be able to explain the meaning of terms in stock control, such as stock and stock control. Then I also expect you to be able to explain the techniques that are used in stock control. So I'll just quickly go to what we are going to handle today, the definition of stock. Please, someone read for us what stock means as it shows in your screen.
Stock refers to the idle resource of an enterprise. Inventories represent those items which are either stocked for sale or they are in the process of manufacturing or they are in the form of materials which are yet to be utilized.
Thank you very much, Lynette. So as she has read, stock refers to the idle resources of an enterprise. So these resources may include the stock that have been bought for resale, or the raw materials that are being bought to be used in production, or the daily supplies that may aid in the day-to-day activities of the organization, such as the stationery and such like items. So those are some of the stock that are can be stocked by an organization. We'll go to the next, that is the definition of stock control. And this stock control is a planned approach of determining what to order, when to order, and how much to order, so that costs associated with buying and storing are optimal without interrupting production and sales. So what this means is that the person that is responsible for stock control is responsible for three decisions: what to order, like the specifications of the item, when to order, that means that what time, when are they going to be ordered, and how much to order. This means the amount that is to be held in the storehouse to minimize the costs that are associated with the holding, such as the insurance costs and the warehousing cost and the handling costs. So by determining what to order, when to order, and how much to order, this person puts into account the amount that is that will lead to optimal saving of the costs that are associated with holding, and also making sure that they don't hold too little stock that may lead to interrupting production and sales. Are we together, class? One person please
Yes.
confirm if that. Thank you very much. So we'll go to our next subtopic of this class, that is the techniques of inventory control. So in inventory control, the person that is responsible does not just wake up today and decide I'm going to order 100 units or I'm going to order this and this amount of units. You have to know what the techniques that you're going to employ to make sure that what you are ordering and the amount that you want to order in the time of ordering them is enough to last you a period that may not lead to interruption in production. So we have a few techniques. We have about 5. I'm just going to discuss the 5 of them right now. The first one is ABC analysis. And in this analysis, the classification of existing inventory is based on the annual consumption of the items and their annual value against the amount of those items into the organization. So you classify the items in order to decide how much control you are going to exercise on these items. So I have a chart here that is going to be able to help us analyze these items in an organization. If you can see this chart, on the y-axis we have annual consumption value, and on the x-axis you have the number of items in percentages. So the annual consumption value of A items is very high. As you can see, it's at 70%, and the amount of items in the organization that have that high annual consumption value are only 20% of the items. So this means that they have a smaller value, a smaller amount, but very high value of consumption. Then we have B items that are around 30% of the items in the organization. So this means they're not so low, they're not so high, they're of minimum, they're of middle amount. And if you look at the annual consumption of the B items are at 20%, this means that they don't bring in so much profit into the organization. And then we have the C items. C items annual consumption value are at 10%. This means that it's a negligible amount, but they are so much in number. So the C items are a lot, but the annual consumption value is small. This means that there are items that are very low in prices. Let me just give you an example of a car dealing company so that you can understand the ratings of these items. So if you take an example of a car dealing company that, for example, deals in cars, they don't usually just sell cars. We have the cars, and then we have certain items such as the spare parts, and then we have also certain items such as the tools. The ones that are regularly bought, such as the tools and the spare parts, are the B and C items, and then the ones that don't usually get regularly bought as the cars are the A items. But you find that when one car is bought, or two cars or three cars are bought, the value that they bring into the business is a lot more than the B and C items combined. So that is why our next slide is going to show us what happens after you have classified the items. So the A items, you give them very tight control, being that they are of high value. Then the B items, you give them moderate control, being that they are of moderate value. So their authority to be controlled are given to the middle level authority. Then we have the C items that are of low value. Their control can be given to the respective user department managers. They don't exercise a lot of control over them because they are not of very high value as compared to the A items. I hope you have understood the explanation that I have given on ABC analysis.
Yes, madam.
Do you have any questions?
No, madam.
Thank you very much. So I'll continue with the rest of the techniques that are used in stock control. So if you look at HML analysis, this kind of analysis means that the classification is based on unit price. So H means high price, M means medium price, and low means L means low cost items. And then FSN analysis is a classification based on consumption of items. So F stands for fast moving, S stands for slow moving, and N stands for non-moving items. Then the continuation of these techniques, we have SOS analysis. In this analysis, the classification of existing inventory is based on the nature of supply of items. So S stands for seasonal and OS stands for off-seasonal. So before I finish, I would like to point out that all of these techniques, when they are used effectively, they have to be combined. So you can take the first ABC analysis, you combine it with VED, and then ABC, maybe you combine it with HML, or VED with HML analysis. So there are some analysis techniques that I have not talked about, that is the VED and the HML. So I expect you to go and research on those two analyses, individual assignment, and you will submit it in 1 week. So thank you very much for attending this class. I would like for two of you to tell me what you have learned today that you didn't already know.
ABC analysis.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
FSN analysis.
Thank you very much for coming. Every one of you have a good evening.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.